Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone. Today we'll be discovering the Magic the Gathering top 10 Nexus cards. So let's look at them now. At number 10, we have Parallax Nexus. It's from Nemesis and it's a rare gold interest for 27 cents on the market. And at this time there was a lot of cards with fading. So this one costs 3 with fading 5. Remove a fade counter from it. Target opponent removes a card from his or her hand from the game. Play this ability only if you play as a sorcery. When Parallax Nexus leaves play, each other player returns his or her hand all cards he or she owns removed from this game with Parallax. So it does remove them. It does give the ability to play them or not play them. You're going to have fun with this card. That's why it's only worth 27 cents because it could totally backfire. And with a fading 5, it's not that powerful. So let's move on to number 9, where we're going to have a little fun. We're going to do Mnemonic Nexus. It's from Ravnica, City of Guilds. It's an uncommon for 24 cents. Well, this one costs 4 mana. It says each player shovels his or her graveyard into his or her library. So you can really have fun with this card. I actually like this card. When it came out, I was playing with it a lot because, well, it's just fun. There's nothing good or bad about it. So let's just straight up move on to number 8, which we have is Geometric Nexus from Commander 2021. It's a rare, just going for 22 cents on the market. May not be the most powerful Nexus card, but I think this is one of my favorite art cards in the recent series of, I don't know what it is. I just like the spiral clouds, I guess, and the colors. But it does say whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, put a number counter on it, and equal to that spell's mana value. Pay 6, and you can put an X+1+ counters on this green-blue fractal creature token. Doesn't have face, but it's a green-blue creature, which could benefit you. That's why it's worth, I guess, only 22 cents. So let's move on to number 7. We have Ugin's Nexus from Khans of Tarkir. It's a mythic going for $1.48 on the market. It costs 5 mana, but it says if your player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. If Ugin's Nexus would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield, instead exile and take an extra turn after this. So you can basically destroy your own artifact and put it into your graveyard and then therefore get an extra turn. But the ability of the player skips that turn instead, there's not many cards that gives players extra turns, so this would be a very specific card. This is why it's at number 7. There's a lot of wrong with it. So let's move on to number 6, which we have is Masswood Nexus. It's from Kaldheim or Commander's Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. Rare, going for an average price of $3.87 at the time of this video. And I am not a huge fan of this card. I've seen people play with it, but I just think the card is absolutely useless, so that's why I decided to put it at number 6. Is creatures you control are every creature type, the same as for each creature spells you control. So basically, it's all about having a specific amount of creatures of the same type, and then you can create a shifter for 3. It is an artifact, so therefore you can create creatures each turn. Other than that, that's all it can do. So let's move on to number 5, which we have halfway down our list, is Maelstrom Nexus. It's from various sets, being mythic with an average price of just under $2, and there's not much more to explain. Has 1 mana of every color. I really like the artwork by Steven. And it's an enchantment, and it just says this first spell you play each turn has Cascade. So you can have fun with that, but with all the multicolors, I don't know if you can pull that off. But again, the picture fits the name perfectly. So let's move on to number 4, which we have as one of the coolest looking land cards is Blickmoth Nexus from various sets, being rare with an average price of $2.52. So this Blickmoth Nexus is basically add 1 to your mana pool, or it becomes a 1/1 artifact creature with flying until end turn. It's still land, or target Blickmoth gets +1/+1 on turn, and you can pay 1 to tap it. So you can kind of have fun with it, and it's also annoying. So you really need more than 1 or 2 of those in play. That's why it's at number 4. So let's move on to number 3. So we have, well, can you say all this? It's Jet Mirror from Nexus of Revels. It's from Streets of New Capenat. It's a mythic going for just over $5 currently on the market. And this is very powerful. You can get this out because it only costs 4 mana, which is red, green, and white for this 5/4. So that in itself is pretty good. So creatures you control get +1/0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. Creatures you control also get +1/0 if you have trample as long as you. So it just keeps going on and on, giving these creatures abilities if you the more creatures you have. It's a legendary creature, cat demon, so you can only have 1 in play, but its ability, if you can pull it off, really brings a lot of damage to you, and it's a game-winning change. So let's move on to number 2. And then number 2, we got Nexus of Fate from Core Set 2019, a mythic going for just over $20. This is one of my favorite cards from the M19 series. Costs 7 mana. And you know why? Because take an extra turn after this one. There's so many cards out. I just love cards that say take an extra turn. And if it would put it in your guard from anywhere, reveal Nexus of Fate, shuffle it into its owner's library. So you can just keep putting it into your library over and over and over again. That's just pure awesomeness. But let's move on to number 1. And we have this amazing land card. It's Inkmoth Nexus. It's from various sets, being rare for $40.18 averagely on the market. Tap it to add 1 mana to your mana pool. And it's not even a legendary land, just to point out. It becomes a 1/1 Blink artifact creature with flying and Infect and Thunder. It is still a land. So, just for 1 mana with Infect, you can actually have really fun with that. Because, in fact, as you can see, it is in the form of poison counters. That is quite a good ability, so you can definitely have fun with that. It can destroy a lot of creatures and be very painful to the opponent. I won't go on about how this is. I really like this picture by June Park, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.